let's move to our speakers, magnificent experts. Hey guys.
Hey, yeah.
Hi everyone.
Hello. So welcome to this fire chat. My name is Max Fomichev. I'm an executive producer of the War Robots, and I will be moderating this discussion. And the discussion will be about Android games distribution opportunities in 2020 and beyond. And speaking normal language, we'll talk about the alternative Android stores and what can be good for this for the developers. So first, let's meet our speakers. Guys, just a few words about your experience and what are you doing. So Nikita.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Nikita. I work as a global BD for Unity, and I focus on the growth of Unity distribution portal. Prior to Unity, I spent 4 years working at BlueStacks, the largest Android platform for mobile games on PC. Yeah,
cool.
Thanks.
Marko.
Hello everyone. My name is Marko Jevtić, and I'm executive producer in Nordeus. So I'm running our flagship product Top 11 for past 3 years. Before that, I was marketing lead in Nordeus for 3-4 years, and before that, I worked in several marketing agencies. So marketing background, but now I'm running the whole product.
That's cool transition. Thank you, Denis.
Hello everyone, my name is Denis. I am CTO at Panoramik. I've been working there for 8 years now. And in Panoramik, we like to create passion-driven mid-core games. And now there are about 200 of us. We've been growing very fast for past 4 years. Like we've been growing, I think, 10 times. And among our projects, you have Mighty Party, which is now in the top 200 grossing chart in the USA, and the Mighty Party is the project on which we have been integrating UDP. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Max, you're on mute.
Need some help.
Yeah, finally. Yeah, I somehow I can't unmute it. So the last but not the least guest is Arseniy from Huawei AppGallery. Arseniy, few words about
Yes, hi everyone. Yeah, I'm a BD for game category for AppGallery, official app store for Huawei and Honor devices. This is pretty much just it. I'm working here like slightly less than 1 year because we started to expand globally not so long ago, but actually already can see a quick growth. So yes.
Okay, cool. So let's start from the scratch, right? So what are the alternative Android stores and where did they pop up from? Nikita, can you tell us something?
Yeah, well, first of all, I would say that they've been around since the first Android release in 2008, right? So in some regions, due to government protection, they became dominant. For example, all of us know China and Iran examples. In some other regions, local telecom operators were flexible enough to step into this market quickly. For example, one store in Korea. Smartphone vendors, on contrary, were not so fast, I would say, mostly because they were very focused on the hardware part of the competition and invested billions into research and development. Well, now as you see, new generations of smartphones I would say are not that much revolutionary, right? They're evolutionary instead compared to previous ones. And users choose ecosystems now, and content is king. And so during the past few years, we see that vendors started to invest significantly in the content. Also, we see that not only vendors, but just big regional traffic owners and networks are also building their own app stores, as they can compete in these local markets by providing more suitable payment options, tailored content, and so on. And what we see here in Unity is a serious growth of such app stores in the past couple of years.
Okay, so besides China, where are those alt stores are popular? I know about Korea, I know about India, but what else?
Yeah, so first of all, you're absolutely right. I would say the biggest growth and the biggest dominance can be found in emerging markets such as, India, Iran, Korea. Other than that, I would say right now we shouldn't talk only about app stores being popular in emerging markets, because right now what we see are that those app stores are actually becoming more and more popular global. And AppGallery is a great example of this. Arseniy, do you want to add something here?
Yeah, like I actually would like to say that we are positioning here ourselves like not some kind of alternative store, because we already third store globally, and for our users, there's like at the moment AppGallery is the main choice, because our smartphones, they don't have Google services, so we completely rely on our own services. And the traction now is that many smartphone manufacturers, they either already start to think about creating their own ecosystem, or they already building it like ourselves, so that users can get all of the services like from one vendor. It's not only about smartphones, like about smartwatch and TV and other. Yeah, but from like, for example, for our platform, we don't limit, we still accept like other products, other stores in our smartphones. So yeah, like this is not like closed ecosystem. It's an open ecosystem, open for everyone. And for countries, as we can see, if stores, they can provide some some value to users, additional, they are more than happy to use some other stores, not like the biggest ones. And it already can be seen in Europe, in Russian region, in Asia, yeah, almost in all the countries, not only like emerging markets.
And what's about the main grossing markets like Japan and US and, well, Europe, you already mentioned, but Japan and US, how is it going with alt stores in those two regions? I bet this question is not for Arseniy, but back to Nikita.
Well, so, you know, Japan is a different world altogether. So I would say that as we see right now, for sure, you know, this is a very, let's say, new thing in our lives, right? So what we see are early signs, but for sure, if we speak about US, sure thing, US hardly rely on its local companies, products and ecosystems, right? So I can't say that something would change significantly with Google Play presence in the US, in, you know, next year or two. But on the contrary, what we see is that this market is very mature, right? So it's not growing that fast, and it's also very competitive because it's been around for like 10 plus years, right? So it's really hard for developers to get more visibility there. And this is the question which we constantly hear from developers reaching out to us. So I would say that even though you know, it's a tough market to step in, it's still for sure worth enough to go into. But at the same time, yeah, more and more opportunities happening around as we are reaching out an end of 2020.
Okay, cool. So my next question to Marko as a product owner, right, as an executive producer. So when a game should we start thinking on expanding from the main platforms such as Google Play or App Store to expand to those alt stores like Huawei AppGallery or the Samsung store, whatever it's called? And what's the benefit can be for that?
Yeah, I'm not sure there is a simple answer to that question, because like some games can soft launch on like some other stores. Some games can like use other stores for the scale strategy when they are like launching the game and so on. So I think like it depends on the game. For us, we are a 10 years old game. We are one of the most popular sports game on mobile. So for us, it was important like to reach. So we have a mass audience. So already 200 million players worldwide played our game. And it's a specific because it's a soccer game, so it's not popular in US, for example. And then for us, it's very important like to be easily accessible to potential audience. And we have a lot of people turning back in the game. So they played it 5 years ago. Okay, we are developing game for these 5 years. So the game is not the same anymore. So they want to get back to the game. And for us, it's important to be on various touch points so that they can see our game and they can like be reminded to start playing our game. And recently we launched it together with Unity on several stores. So and especially Huawei store now works good for us. But like, as I said, it depends. Like we are 10 years old game. It's a specific case. I don't know, are there any other examples that are like so old on mobile? But I think games can use that for this platform for the launch as well. And as Arseniy said, I wouldn't talk about alternative stores. I would talk about like stores in general, and then like I would see what kind of mix works for you.
Okay, so you mentioned the soft launching on the alt stores, on stores other than Google Play for Android. Do you have any experience like that, or do you have any information? How was this successful for the developers?
No, as I said, like we launch only this game, but like what I would say like is that if you want to scale on one platform, maybe there's an opportunity for you to do that on some other store. It doesn't need to be like these two main stores always. Like you're soft launching, you're choosing a country that is not the US usually.
Mm-hmm.
So you're choosing like some smaller market. So I think it could be a valid strategy, but I don't have any experience. That's why I said it's like very hard to answer that question. So I don't know.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about pro and contra. Arseniy, what benefits launching on Huawei App Store or any other alternative app store, Android store, brings to the developer?
Yeah, I think in general, if some developer decides to launch an alternative store, the first one, I think many of the stores, they can consider some other revenue share conditions. I'm not sure about other stores, but I did see that, for example, they can provide more revenue share to developers. For example, for AppGallery right now, we provide for games 85-15 revenue share instead of 70-30, like the traditional one. And I think like everyone here at the conference know what's going on now with Google Play and App Store, and like that some developers are not very satisfied in this. There are like some people say that the current situation is strange. Some others say like that it's normal. So yeah, the second one is I think it's much less amount of apps and games in the store, so will be more visibility. And for example, like in main stores, there are maybe like thousands of games released every day, and it's hard to get any attention from users. You can just release, and if you don't start to like pay for user acquisition like right from the beginning, you will probably just get zero traffic. For another Android stores, it's more like if they are forthcoming and you can actually get a contact with them, it's a good sign. So they are interested in you and in other developers, and you can also like directly talk with them about maybe promotion featuring. It will be much easier than the main stores. And main stores, I think one of the main points right now is that what also Unity mentioned, that not main Android stores, they are growing much quicker, and they are more like they change themselves much faster, and they provide more benefits to users and developers. And because the main stores, they're like already the top ones, and they don't really see any reasons to make any changes. They're already the biggest and like the top ones.
Okay, cool. So when the question of launching on another store comes to me personally, as an executive producer of the product, it's always technical cost that comes into my mind. So my next question is to Denis. Tell us about your experience launching on those alt stores. As far as I know, you used the Unity UDP, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's why we're here, no?
Yeah. So how was it? How much does it cost in technical costs to support and to integrate it? And what were the painful pieces of those integrations and support of your game launched in the alt stores?
So all in all, our integration process was pretty smooth. The main setbacks was, for example, sudden news about subscription shutdown, and we would like to get those news from UDP, for example, as fast as possible, but we didn't get them. But you know, these things happen. Also, we didn't appreciate long maintenance without completion time. It was, I think, about 10 days. And but apart from this, it was a pretty straightforward process. But we kind of struggled with in-app validation process because we have a kind of interesting and maybe, I don't know, unique or not unique system of our own, and we had to, get it friendly with the UDP service validation. But apart from this and other minor bugs, it was okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's about integration, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
What about supporting those builds for the updates? Because usually the more stores you have, the more versions and the more builds you have to QA, you have to support, you have to fix the platform specific bugs. So how does it work for you with the UDP?
Well, obviously UDP makes it much better and much conveniently because obviously that's the main feature of UDP, because you upload one build in one platform, and then it goes, you can publish the same, well, not quite the same, but the same build on every platform you want. But thing is, when you want to test your build, for example, if you want to test your purchases, it's I think the most important thing, because you want to make your money, don't you? You have to do it in two steps. First steps, when you test your purchases with the UDP stub for purchasing, if you know what I mean. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, you have to then upload your builds to the platform, then download them again and test purchases on each platform. But I don't know if is any way around that. So that's kind of
talking about the sandbox testing or the live version testing.
I'm talking about sandbox testing with a particular purchasing on each platform.
Mm-hmm. Okay,
well, so the same goes for live testing, obviously.
So the more platforms you have, the more time you have to spend, and the more resource you have to spend for the basically testing all the versions, which is basically the same, right? But
yeah,
the UDP is, as far as I understood, UDP saves a lot of time for preparing the builds for each platform.
Yeah, of course, huge amount. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So another aspect of, downside of the alt stores I see is the marketing part, and this question goes to Marko. So when you do you actually run the user acquisition campaigns for the alt stores you launched with your games?
Sorry, I had a problem.
Oh yeah. So the question is, you're launched on the several alternative stores with I believe with UDP as well, right? So
yes.
Do you run the user acquisition campaigns for those platforms, or you just gather the organic traffics that comes from those stores?
We are testing, so we did some influencer campaigns, and we are doing some kind of performance, but it's still in testing. So because as you know, we should have a positive ROI on user acquisition.
Mm-hmm.
So we are testing. So I don't have now any concrete numbers to share, but we are trying to see LTV and CPIs, because we recently launched. So it's still in data gathering. So I hope together, with organic, we should be able to scale paid user acquisition as well.
Okay, cool. Let's have a bit of feedback to the UDP and the Huawei. Those questions comes again to Denis and Marko. So based on your experience working with the UDP, right, with all those build wrapping and all those marketing things and all those launch, so what would you suggest? What features would you request from UDP and from the AppGallery? Denis.
Well, we would like to be able to upload OBB file definitely, because because UDP now does not support that. But as I've heard, they're about to add this feature to their platform. And the second thing.
And Denis, could you please tell a few words about the OBB, because maybe not all of them.
Sure. Yeah. OBB is an extension file. For example, if your APK file is too big, and when you upload it to the stores, it would be very inconvenient for user to download and update every one such a big file. So you can split your file into APK and OBB. OBB contains some static assets, things like that, like pictures or something. And
in easy words,
in
easy words, the lack of OBB just basically, as far as I understood, limits the build size, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not exactly. You still have to download OBB, but you can update your app without downloading OBB again.
Okay.
In some cases, yeah.
Okay, so add the OBB support. What else?
Also, we would like to test subscriptions through UDP stub, and we cannot do that now, so you have to live test them. So adding support to subscription would be also appreciated. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Marko, do you have anything to add?
So from my side, so some best practices and case studies. I know it's fresh for all of us now in this part of the world, but we can expect that users will behave a bit differently. So if we know that, then we can adjust, I don't know, from push notifications to some other things in game that could that could make them stay longer to play the game and increase retention. So I'm not a technical person, so I don't know now details about the builds, but I know there were some challenges initially, which I think we overcome, and I think now it's much more easier to work, but that's expected when you're launching something like this. Anyway, as I said, some kind of best practices and what we as a game can do differently so that we really utilize the potential of all of the platform and all the stores.
Okay, cool. Nikita, as all those things came to your side, can you share some plans on the UDP development?
Well, what I can say is that for sure we are aware of the all this feedback, right? We are constantly processing all the feedback which comes our way, and I would say that this is in the heart of every Unity product, right? So all our roadmaps are built on our customers' feedback. So for sure we are aware of subscriptions and OBB, and as I know, this is already in our roadmap, right? So as you know, we launched UDP quite not long time ago, right? Just in late August. So for sure it's still a long way to go, but yeah.
Cool.
We will work on this.
That's really good to hear. Arseniy, in your introduction, you said that you started the expansion of the AppGallery recently, and I know that you guys have some really good numbers and you have a big potential to grow. So you are launched in 170 countries, as far as I remember from the yesterday email. Yeah. So what's your numbers now, and what's your plans for the expansion to the rest of the world, and what's your potential to grow?
Yes, right now the global numbers are 490 million users, and it was a growth from the beginning, from Q1 of this year, from 420. So for the markets, we're presented in, it's the popular opinion is, for example, because Huawei is a Chinese company and we are strong in China and Asia, which is not true. Actually, also the key markets for us are still Europe and Russian region, and we have a great sales of our smartphones, which of course directly affects the users amount in our app store. So, and what we can see, so actually active devices in global right now, we have around 700 million. And like it shows that we still have like pretty many people to activate, because those people right now, they don't really use AppGallery, but we are doing our best to like educate them that like you better use our store than others. And for expansion, yeah, I think this is the main goal right now, to activate actually our users first. Next, like we'll see.
Okay, so for the last 5 minutes, I suggest us to make some predictions. Actually, like let's turn on our fantasy and talk about what future lies before the alternative stores for Android. Are they going to dominate the world and push back the Google, or are they going to be pushed back by Google? So Denis, what do you think? What can we expect from alt stores in the next 5 years?
Well, that's kind of interesting question. That's hard to predict, I think. I think considering that, for instance, Huawei and Honor devices are taking very large number of Android devices in general, and they don't completely support Google services.
As far as I know, they totally don't support them.
Well, you can hack it around if you want, but by default, no. So I think we should see some growth on AppGallery, for example. Yeah, that's why we tried. Well, that's why we're trying to launch there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Marko,
I don't know. I'm not a marketing analyst, so that's the best I can do.
That's fair enough. That's a good prediction anyway. Marko, what do you think?
So I think like there are some announcement already that like from the new Android, it will be even easier to have like additional stores or additional ways how you can download. So that should be frictionless and much easier than it is now. So that does mean that we can expect the growth of other like sources, like where you can download the app. So I would say it will always depend by regions, but like I do expect like this region, like a Europe with like Russia and so on, like to see a growth here. And besides that, like you can imagine, like we are using a lot of like TV ads. We are sponsoring Premier League clubs. So when we are building a brand, we want like people to be able to find us easier than it is now. So if they have a Huawei phone, we want to be there. If they have this phone, so I think these stores will just multiply return of investment when we are using like a mass media for our advertising.
That's a really good idea. I never actually, I don't really watch the TV, so it's interesting to know that it is there. So Arseniy, besides the perspective of the growth for the AppGallery, what are the general future of the alt stores in global scale?
Of course, completely depends on the stores themselves and if they can actually, as I said before, provide some value to the users. But I think like the more competition, the better. Like the what I can say, as I also said like before, it completely depends by the region. But the current traction, I don't think there. Of course, I don't really think that it's a good idea to have like so many stores, like for example in China now, because it's kind of crazy. But when we have like globally, maybe in general, maybe 5, 6 different stores, and actually when developers can choose where to publish, and maybe they have, in this way, they have power to negotiate. So they say like, guys, we publish in this store, Blade. So they provided these conditions. Maybe we can talk with you about something else, not just traditional ones, like without any negotiations. So I do think if stores start to provide some really good value to users, we will in the nearest probably 5 years, we'll see very good changes in the market.
So you think that alt stores will be actually like a huge competitor to the Google Play?
They should be, and I think it's also will be a main, like, the smartphone manufacturers, they also should like push this story forward. Before, I think they just didn't think about it. So they like, okay, we have Google Play and that's it. But because of the many situations this year, I think many manufacturers like starting to think maybe they need to develop like their own services, their own ecosystem. At least it will be safer for them and for their business.
Okay, thanks. Nikita, you probably know the most about all the global stores that are in the world. So what's your prediction?
Well, I have 2 points here, right? So first, yeah, I agree with Arseniy. You just need, if you will just open any industry magazine or journal, you will see all those headlines regarding, antitrust, regarding decentralization as a global trend, so to say. So I think that unlikely this is going to change anytime soon, especially in the next 5 years. And second point, I think, right now we have millions of games, right? Millions of games being published already. Hundreds are being produced like on a weekly basis. And for the user, it's really, really hard to find out what works for him. And I think that a huge opportunity right now lies within personalization of that content, so that each user can actually find what works for him. Because right now, if you will go to major outlets, well, right, so you'll see some featuring some new and updated games. Most likely these will be pretty much all the same games, more or less the same games on each month, right? So I think that if going really, really forward, something like a really decent, Spotify for games, yeah, something like that might really, really disrupt the whole thing.
Okay, so as far as I understand the situation with other stores in global market, there are a lot of regional stores, right? Am I right? Yeah, so let's say I know that there are a few stores in the Arabic region. So do you believe that we can expect the consolidation of those regional stores, the cross-country stores, in the same, that 5 to 6 big stores that Arseniy mentioned? Or the local interests will be bigger than the global goal for them?
Good question, actually. I think consolidation as an idea looks very, very simple. In reality, it's a very complicated thing, because if you even need to sign an agreement between 3 parties, it's already an issue. You know that, right?
Yeah.
And imagine if you need to do this with like 4 or 5 members, right? So I think it's every year we hear about some sort of consolidation in China. I would say like biggest vendors in China, yeah, and it still doesn't happen, right? Because it's a very, very complicated thing. But on the contrary, I think the services like the Unity distribution portal, actually, I think might work well in this case, because they don't really compete, right? Don't really compete with neither vendors nor app stores, right? We just serve our developers' needs. So I think that might be the exit.
Okay, cool. I believe we are beyond our schedule, Igor. Am I right?
So yeah, we are kind of a bit over schedule, but we are ready to go to the questions and answers.